This will be the Algebra 2 SOL review for 2018-2019 for statistics. This is new for my classes. Okay, in general, what does the z-score mean if your score is negative? All right, so the idea is that z is 0 when it's the mean. So if it's negative, means it's below or less than the mean. Less than the mean, or average. Okay? In a normally distributed set of data, z-scores will have a mean of what? The mean will be 0. Okay? Alright? What percentage fall below 1? So that would be 1. Below would be this way, so I'd have to use the negative 9s. Okay? So, stat, dist, norm, NCD. I would use the lower being the negative 9s, the upper being 1. I don't know the standard deviation, so I can assume 1. Don't know the mean, so I can assume 0. Okay? So that's 0.8413. And then percentage means multiplied by 100, which would be 8.13%. Okay? Abby and Bobby got their z-scores for the SAT. Abby got a negative 1.2. Bobby is a 0.7. Which would just tell you about the SAT results. So what this would be, if this would be negative 1.2, this would be Abby. Okay, 0.7 would be Bobby. Okay, so Bobby actually did better than Abby. Bobby's closer than the average, and Bobby did better than most people. Okay, the further right is better on that. Okay, now we're going to move into some of these other word problems. Okay, the average set of weight of 20 ounces with a standard deviation of 1 ounce. How many weigh over 21.5? So over would be this way. So I'd have to put the 9s over here. Okay, 21.5, the 9s. Standard deviation is 1, and the mean, I think, is 20. The average weight, yep, average is 20. That's 0.0668. Now, since it asks for how many, I got to multiply that by 236. So that's 15.76. Okay, the average calf weighs 90 pounds at birth, standard deviation 9.2, between, so 75, 130, all right. All right, so I would go 75 being the lower, 130 being the upper, okay. Okay, the standard deviation is 9.2, and the mean is 90. Make sure you can see that. Nope, I'm slightly off the screen. Okay, so I do that, I get 0.9484. Since they asked for how many, there's been 300, so I multiply by 300. 284. And the last couple for this page. Mean is 425, standard deviation is 50, between, all right, so all they want to do is shade the area. So all they're really looking for you to do here, okay, that's good enough for that one. All right, if you wanted to find the probability of that, all right, you would be 375, 525, standard deviation 50, 425. Probability would be 0.185. Okay, probability it's between negative 1.1 and 2.52. Okay, so negative 1.1, 2.52. I don't know the standard deviation, so I can assume 1. I don't know the mean, which I can assume 0. So if you don't know those, if they don't give you those, you can always assume this. If they don't give, all right? If they don't give that, that's what you should do, okay? So that's 0.8584. And that's all they wanted was probability. Okay? All right, another thing, mean, standard deviation. Okay? Score greater than 385. Okay? So that means I got to put the 9s. .385 would be the lower. The 9s would be the upper. Standard deviation is 38, means 320. 0.0435. Okay, determine the probability. Student got less than, these next two questions we will not do, so do not worry about these. All right. So we got mean of 25, standard deviation of this. We want between. Okay. $24.89, 25.11, standard deviation of 0.2, mean of 25, 0.4176. All right. From a batch of 200 wipers, how many would be more? So 25.3 would be this way with the 9s. So 25.3, and then the 9s would be there. 0.0668. All right, since they asked for 200, we multiply by that many. $13.36. Okay. All right, mean of 90, deviation of that, percentage longer than 105. Longer would be this way with the 9s. Okay, so I would have the lower being 105, the upper being the 9s. Okay, mean of 90. And the standard deviation is 5.8, I believe. Yep, 5.8. Okay, so when you get this thing with the E, all right, what that means is move this 1, 2, 3 spots. So really this probability is 0.048. Okay? All right, you can't have a probability more than one. So this has for percentage, so I would times 100, which would give me 0.48%. Okay? What's the probability? It's less than 85. So 85 less would be the negative 9s. .1943, and that's all they want is probability. Question number 12. The bigger thing you have to understand is when you look at these, like the peaks, okay, that means that's where the mean is, right here. All right? The further right, the bigger mean. Okay? The wider, the bigger deviation. Okay? So which curves have the highest standard deviation? Okay? That would be the widest curve. Okay? All right, the widest curve would be the letter D would be the widest curve. The same mean, if you notice, all those blue ticks are on the same thing, B, C, or D. Which one has a greater mean, A or C? Well, C is further to the right, so that would be C. Which has a greater standard deviation, A or C? C because it's wider, okay? So standard deviation is all about width. Mean is all about who is further this way, okay? On the same axis, draw a bigger mean with the same standard deviation. So my mean would have to be somewhere over here. Same deviation means it's got to look about the same. So it's got about the same width. Okay? These next ones are the z-score formula ones. Okay? So the thing you have to understand is that for math, so this is like a group, and this is like a group. Okay? So two groups. So this goes together. I'll make it a mess. Hold on. Take those off. This goes together. And then this goes together. Okay? So then the z-score formula, which everybody knows, is this. Alright? So 89 on his math final. The average was an 82, standard deviation was 6.2. On English, he got an 84 when the average was a 77 and a 7.3. So when all those numbers are on one side, you can just type those into the calculator and you get your answer. That's 1.12. That's 0.9. That's 0.95. So the bigger one, this would be this one. He did better on that one. If Amber scored 93, how many standard deviations? So what this is another word for is z-score. That's all that means. So if she got 90 on English, so the English one would be the 77 with the 7.3, and I put the 93, okay? So all that's asking for is z-score. It's another way of saying z-score. 2.19. Okay? If she got a z-score of 1.4, what was her grade on her math final? Okay? So the math one is 82 with 6.2. So what you would do is you cross multiply that. That's 8.68 equals x minus 82, and I add 82 over to the other side. So her score was 90.68. All right. If Adam had z-scores of both his math and English finals, what score did he have on the higher final? Well, the math one would be 0 equals 8. Would be this. The English one would be this. Now what happens is when you cross multiply those, okay, both of those would be 0. One would just be x minus 82. The other one would be 0 equals x minus 77. Alright? So this one would be 82 equals x. This one would be 77 equals x. So he did better on the math. Okay, 18. Combinations, permutations. We went over this in class. The big thing here, these are titles. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 titles from 150 people. So since it's a title, it would be a permutation. Get the permutation by option, scroll, prob, 150. I hit this button, then 5. Okay? So 7.09 E10. Okay? Alright, contest, 50 cows from 6. This is like a committee. Okay? This is like a committee. This would just be 50C6. Alright? 50C6. Alright? 1589 0700. Okay? Alright? Alright, 7 fruit bars, 7 days of the week. This would be 7P7. Okay, 7 bars, 7 days. 5,040. Okay, moving on to the last few. 3 left. Okay, you got to match this, got to be careful. 8 different cards, you get 4 cards. Okay, so that's going to be 8C4. Then you got 3 chips, 1 chip. Alright, 3C1. Since it's multiple things, we always use combinations and we use multiplication in there. 8C4 times 3C1. It's 210. Okay? Model home offers wood, tile, and carpet, 20 shades of paint, and 5 fixtures. So like this is like all like for floors. So you get the, you have 3, you get to choose 1. Then you got 20 shades of paint. Of 20 you get to choose 1. And then 5 lighting fixtures, you get to pick 1. So that's just a bunch of 3C1 times 20C1 times 5C1. 300. Okay, last one. You got these words that say prizes. So we got 30 and then 5, so it's 30P5. And that's 171007200. Okay? If you follow that stuff, you should do well on the test.